long time coming, but I'm on the way up. I'm on the way up.
What a great sight that was for anyone who loves the game of 9-ball pool. See it being played in a big arena like this.
Safety here, plugging the cue ball behind the 8. Wow, great escape there from Jason. And yeah, that's the shot I like. Try and get some distance.
He also beat Woodward. Shane Van Boning on the final night. But back in the present day, World Cup isn't the youngest finalist. Wojciech Szewczyk was a bit younger when he played in the final for Poland 11 years ago.
Come on. Joshua Feller, what a safety shot that is.
There is a renowned expression that is used here in my country for more than one reason, and that expression states that the higher the monkey climbs, the more it will be exposed. Now, as an aspiring professional pool player who have been playing pool for a little bit over 10 years, in fact, I've been playing serious pool for 10 years, and it all started when I discovered the 0x billiards that was created by Tor Lowry, where he pretty much opened my eyes to the fact that in order for you to become a more consistent and better pool player, and if you aspire to become a great pool player, you will need to study the theory and the practical applications of the game. Now, as you can see just from the start of this video there, where Joshua Filler was playing against Mario He in, I believe, the European Open, you will realize that safety play and kicking are one of or two of the most important and powerful applications of the game. And those are the two aspects of the game that I have focused or built my channel around. And so in this jam-packed video that I'm going to be sharing with you here, guys, we're going to be talking about the principles of defensive play using 3 cushions. Now, when you go on YouTube, as you see me demonstrating here on screen, I'm searching my feed, you will find that there's just one particular professional player that talks a lot about the defensive or the principles of defense, and that is the great Niels Fine. Now, when I started my channel, this gentleman is the gentleman that really propelled me to really dive in deeper into the theory of the game. Let's take a moment to listen to a few things that he has to say in regards to the safety play that I'm about to teach you today.
Guaranteed ball in hand because it's so tough to hit. So let's try this one. Very tough. It's going to go 4 rails. Let's see what we can do. Be careful that you don't hit the coin with your shirt or arm. Yes, that's it. I think 6th or 7th try.
Now, isn't that a beautiful shot? But how is Niels Fine actually doing this? Let's listen in more on what he has to say about this particular safety play.
Okay, this shot comes up all the time, guys. 1, 2, 3 rails and potentially 4 into this zone. Comes up all the time in your 9-ball games. You will learn to avoid the scratch and hit that rail there and come into that zone.
Now, the following video excerpts were courtesy of a recently posted video from the Niels Fine YouTube channel, where he spoke about the 4 squares drill for safety play. And so when I watched that video about 2 or 3 times, what I took from it was, can I figure out how is Niels Fine actually doing this? Can I use my skill set as a mathematician and figure out a feel? Now, when I went on the practice table, I was testing the theory, and I am a big fan of the half ball hit. So when I placed my object ball as being demonstrated there on screen at the middle diamond on the short rail, my first test was, if I were to hit this object ball at a half ball hit, where would it go? And that's where all of this started. So this video is inspired by Niels Fine, and I want to take the time out to thank you, Niels Fine, as an aspiring pro player all the way from the small island of Jamaica. You have truly inspired my game since when you started creating videos. And so by then, I'm going to be taking the opportunity to extend your 4 squares drill using a mathematical and systematic approach to this. Now, as I said, guys, when I first discovered this feel, my concept was, how could I hit this object ball? Where would I have to hit it in order for the cue ball to find its trajectory towards the corner? And so my very first thought was hitting the object ball at a half ball. Now, as being demonstrated there on screen, if I hit this object ball at a half ball, it has a tendency to come off at about a 30-degree angle and will hit somewhere around that second diamond from where I'm aiming from, and it will somehow head towards the trajectory of the corner. Now, if you hit the object ball too thin, it will go long, and if you hit it too thick, it will come on the inside. So my advice here is that at a half ball hit, when you get down, the perspective of which you're looking at this object ball at, for you to have the success that I'm trying to achieve here in this video, you may need to hit a hair thinner than a half ball, as being demonstrated by the consistent graphics being displayed here on screen. Now, on my first attempt here, you will realize that I almost got it perfect here. And at about a half ball hit, notice how that cue ball comes? It came a hair long. Let's have a look at the replay here. Now, as I deliver my cue with what I would call a pretty good fundamental on this freeze frame here, you will realize that the cue ball actually hits the object ball just a hair too thin. And notice where it comes off, in between the second diamond and the third diamond there, and it floats towards the corner. Now, there are a lot of benefits that can be gained from us missing the target ball, because I don't have a game situation set up here, but in an actual game situation, the object ball could actually stay up table by hitting into another obstacle ball while the cue ball heads down to that safe zone. As well as it could be a case where even when the object ball escapes a little bit or comes down table a bit too much, the cue ball is hit so perfect that it actually heads right behind a cluster. Now, this one came perfectly in towards the target ball there, and as you can see here, at a half ball hit, just a hair thinner than a half ball hit, I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say about a 3/8 ball hit. 3/8 ball hit will have the cue ball going a hair long, so maybe just a hint of side spin, maybe top left or top right depending on the direction, then you will find that you have the trajectory of the cue ball locked down. Now, obviously in a real game, we don't want to play a safety shot like that where it's going towards the corner. So I'm using this as a baseline, a foundation for how the cue ball travels when we hit it at a half ball. Now, very important for me, as you see me demonstrate on many of my previous tutorials, it is important that you test both sides of the table, because when you're capable of executing the shot executing this shot, pardon me, on the right side of the table, you will find that it gives a slightly different feel than when you try to do it on the left side. Now, it's also very important that you train both the left side and the right side of your brain and your eye alignment for this shot. Now, in this example here, this is an excerpt coming from a match that was played on my channel here. Notice how that system came in quite handy. Now, of course, I did scratch because of an unfortunate carom off the 9 into the pocket. If you guys would like to see that match and the turnaround in that match, a link will be pinned in the description box below. So I'm not only just teaching you an aspect of the game that is not talked about a lot, but I'm going to be showing you excerpts from pro players. I'm going to be showing you excerpts from myself here that this shot is truly one that you need to take the time out and develop a feel for. Now, again, going for my second attempt here, trying to get that cue ball to come very close towards the 9. I did, in fact, didn't get that one pretty good there. Again, this is perhaps the worst of all my execution. I, in fact, delivered the cue really nice. I hit it approximately at a half ball, but I don't know, for some reason, it went a hair long. Well, in fact, it went almost a diamond and a half long. Now, again, as I said, it's such a touchy feel type shot that too much spin or not enough spin will let you miss your target or let you miss your safe zone. Too much hit on the object ball, too little hit on the object ball will cause you to miss your target or miss your safe zone. So again, this becomes more of a feel type shot, as you can see there, demonstrated by Niels Fine in the excerpts earlier. Let's have a look at this replay here. Nice execution. I don't think I used any spin. I didn't. You can see how the cue ball is floating. But one thing that I recognize, that even though I hit my target, which is the 9 ball, my object ball actually went too far down table. So you have to be very mindful of this type of shot, that you have to focus very much on the hit on the object ball, because when you hit the object ball thin, it will stay more up table while the cue ball heads down to its safe zone. If you hit it too thick, like what I just did there, if you don't get the hook, you could actually sell out the match here. Now, so far in the first aspect of this video, I've had the object ball on the middle diamond, but it's not always going to be there. So what happens then when the object ball moves a diamond to the left or to the right of the middle diamond? Where does the cue ball travel? Once again, the test of this here starts with me finding out what happens if I hit this object ball at a half ball. And as being demonstrated there on screen, I'm visualizing that at a half ball hit, the cue ball will come off toe cushion and head towards this diamond here. Now, in order for me to have it being sent towards the trajectory of the 8, I may have to hit this object ball at a quarter ball hit, as being demonstrated there by the graphics. Now again, such a touchy shot. Even though I executed that shot to perfection, you will find that because of how thin you have to hit the object ball, it will have the tendency to go a hair long. So when you're playing these types of shots, ensure that your focus is always on controlling the speed of the cue ball, so that at the end of the day, if it is that it goes a hair long, then you will find that the object ball will stay more up table and the cue ball will somewhat stay in its safe zone. So many benefits can come from this type of shot here, guys. So I do hope that you are enjoying the video, and if you are, be sure to hit the like button and do not forget to subscribe and join the family. Now we're going to be moving to the left side of the table here, and my table plays just a little different here. It's not brand new cloth, and in fact, mentioning brand new cloth, the system starts to play a little bit different when you're playing on a slick cloth. Now on that freeze frame there, you will see where I hit the object ball a hair too thin and it goes a little bit long. Now I need to hit this object ball at a quarter ball, but I also find that even though I'm encouraging you not to use spin so much, depending on the condition of your table, depending on the type of cloth that you have, depending on the size of table that you're playing on, depending on your shaft and your stroke, you will find that you get a little bit of an inconsistent result. But you've got to stick with it until you actually get good result. And again, you can get lucky in this situation where you're trying to play a safety and you actually bank the object ball into the side. It's not a high percentage shot. It's not something that I want you guys to think about to say, oh, I could actually bank this ball into the side. It's just a case where you could get a very lucky roll. It goes into the pocket, or you could actually bank that object ball into the side accidentally while playing a safety and hook yourself and your opponent. You'll be forced to shoot the shot. So again, guys, very, very touchy shot, very feel type shot. You've got to know your table, but the importance of what I want you to take from this video here is the fact that these shots can be executed by using ball hit fraction and having a good feel and sense for the cue balls part of the cushions. Again, there, I was able to execute that shot because it was a perfect hit at a quarter ball hit. Notice how it floats into the trajectory of the hanging object ball into the corner. Now I may have to release this particular video in 2 parts, but there's a part 3 that is coming up, guys, so be sure to hit the subscribe button because we're going to be looking at when the object ball, pardon me, when the cue ball is not in a direct line with the object ball. But for now, we're looking at the base of this system, the foundation of this safety play system here. Now, of course, so far we've looked at the middle diamond coming off 2 cushions. We've looked at the third diamond near to the corner pocket. Now we're going to be keeping the object ball at the third diamond, but as opposed to coming very sharp 2 rails inside the cushion for the hanging ball into the corner, we're going to come in on the outside here as being demonstrated. Now once again, always testing what will happen to the cue ball when you hit it at a half ball. And by that demonstration there, you will find that if you hit that object ball at a half ball without spin, it tends to take the trajectory and head towards a diamond long off the corner pocket towards the short rail. Now for me to make that correction for the cue ball to head towards the 8 ball, I will need to use a quarter tip of spin. Now notice how I'm eyeing up from here. I'm eyeing up how much of the object ball I need to hit. And so with a quarter ball spin here, just a quarter tip of spin, you will find that you get consistent results like that. Now, as you see here being displayed on screen, the whole idea and the concept is not, because obviously in a real game we don't want that to happen because you're going to scratch. But from this information, from this video here, you will be able to know how much spin you need to apply, if you need to hit the object ball thicker or thinner, and you will start developing a sense and a feel for the cue ball's visualized path going into wherever safe zone you're trying to get into here. And most importantly, you have to test both sides of the table. Now, for some reason, my table, I was able to discover that my table plays just a little bit off. I'm not sure what happens to the left side or the left rail on my table, but here I actually made a couple of errors. I went through a series of missed shots here, and notice how that cue ball came on the inside. I registered that information. And I have always encouraged players that when you're in practice and you're trying to, execute a particular shot and it's not working out, you've got to take mental notes of how the cue ball is reacting. Because it wasn't up until the 3rd or 4th shot that I actually realized that for this shot, I was inadvertently applying a hair too much spin, which is why I was getting this inconsistent result here. Now notice how it's coming inside the cushion here. I actually had to speed up because I had a series of missed shots. I actually chopped out quite a few. So it is at this point here that I then realized that I was consistently heading towards that diamond. And then I realized that I was actually hitting the object ball a hair too thick, and I might have been using a hair too much spin. So notice there that I recorded that information, and now I'm going to make the necessary adjustments. Again, tricky shot because of the fact that you have to hit a half ball hit on the object ball and you have to increase the speed. The object ball has a tendency to come a bit too much out table. Now for the purpose of this video, I was satisfied with actually getting the 9 ball down, but I definitely wanted to actually hit that 9 ball full. Alright, so I'm going to be taking you into part 2 of this video where I'm going to be showing you a game situation application. So until next time guys, check out the next part. The link is pinned in the description box below. Continue practicing with precision, accuracy, consistency and control. Take care.